It helps if I turn the mute off. See, it's not really a Tobias the Adequate Troubadork show until I've had at least one stupid technical screw up, and that was it. Yep, I had to push the button, Max. There's a button on the mic there. That's okay. But yeah, we had one amazingly good first year Ren Fair in New Braunfels, Texas. Some of you who are watching this might have been there. Some of you might have actually been drawn to me and my doofy little show because of that. Because, hey, you know, I gotta say, it was a lot of fun. I had 6 shows, all entirely different in character, all a lot of fun, all with good folks listening and watching and laughing and reminding me that these are comedies. I write funny songs, apparently. So that was pretty cool. What's really fun is seeing a lot of people who had never been to a Ren Fair before, or had been to like 1 or 2, but not shows that I had been in. So they heard this song. They heard this song for the very first time at this fair. Let's make sure. Are we tuned? We just had this whole thing. I will rant at you for a moment. I will rant at you about tuning in a minute. I have had this thing spontaneously detune at me, mostly in protest. There we go. We tune because we like people. There we go. We're off and running. Do you know my friend from Faire? Do you know my friend from Faire? He's 4 foot taller, and he's got browner sandy hair. And he has a hat and tankard, and he wears these great big boots. And he wanders around in a loincloth or one of them doublet suits. You know, I realized when I play this, I bounce it on my stomach. Do you know my friend from Faire? Do you know my friend from Faire? He's a unique individual, no one else can compare. For he always sings or juggles as he goes about the town. And he always has a great big sword that ought to narrow it down. I saw a lot of nudging and pointing. At one point somebody was just naming people. Do you know my friend from Faire? Do you know my friend from Faire? If you saw him coming down the lane, you'd have to stop and stare. Don't recall if it's pickles, pretzels, or if it's popcorn that he sells. You can hear him coming from a mile away on account that he wears bells. Jingle bang, jingle, like a Morris dancer in a minefield. Do you know my friend from Faire? Do you know my friend from Faire? He's the coolest guy in all the world, I truly do declare. If you saw my pal in person, then you'd know of whom I speak. For he dresses like a pirate, now isn't that unique? Yep, a pirate. With pointy ears. Elf pirate. and Gossamer Wings, Fairy Elf Pirate, and a kilt. Scottish Fairy Elf Pirate. And horns. Demon Scottish Fairy Elf Pirate. And fangs. Vampire Demon Scottish Fairy Elf Pirate. And leather goggles with gears on them. Steampunk Vampire Demon Scottish Fairy Elf Pirate. Like you do. And big furry boots. Barbarian Steampunk Vampire Demon Scottish Fairy Elf Pirate. I'm still proud of that line. It's been 5 years. And a foxtail. No one knows why. Do you know my friend from Faire? I think I saw him over there. His name is Wolf or Hawk or Raven, or I think it might be Bear. Well, we've never met outside of Faire, but I'm sure he'll be along. Hey, wait a minute. I'm talking about him. I guess I'll end this song. And there we are off. We are underway with, yes, another Tobias the Adequate Troubadork non-commute show, brought to you right here in the house known as Odoroki, in the room known as Away. Hey! Excellent. Hey, fantastic. Thank you, thank you. Yes, it is definitely, yeah, Kerrville is a blast as well. The weather is a little variable, but, you know, it's Texas, so the weather's gonna be variable. Yeah, I'm so happy. I was hoping, crossed my fingers, hoping against hope, that people would come and check this out, because I certainly blasted Troubadork.com and theadequate.com at every single show I did. You folks are the online hecklers. I dig it. Yeah, we have, Kerrville will be the last 2 weekends in January and the first weekend in February. And, I've signed all my paperwork. They're going to pay me. Ah, the fools. So that's also very cool. Last year I did it entirely for Hat. Very much like I pitched to do New Braunfels, because part of it is that it's just right there. New Braunfels is literally this way from where I am. It's about 20 minutes that way. Now, Kerrville is about 20 minutes that way from where I am. No, actually, it's about an hour that way, because I have to go out on I-10. Interesting little change of perspective thing here, because of how far away I am from the camera. The camera is actually built into the computer because I am a big nerd and also lazy. And there'll be more stuff coming up soon as the paperwork comes in. I will keep y'all posted. March could be extremely interesting for all kinds of reasons. So yeah, Kerrville, my goodness. New Braunfels, where am I? It's been such a blur. New Braunfels was fantastic. Over 8,000 people through the gates. I think I heard like 6,000 adult tickets on Saturday. I don't know how many on Sunday, but probably about the same amount, honestly. I was really not expecting to get that many people, nor were the people at New Braunfels Ren Fair expecting to get that many people. So every single one of you who came through the gates amazed, astonished, and kind of terrified them a little bit. There will be some changes, I know. There will be more personnel put into the food and beverage portion of our program, because, well, that's one of the things that happens at fairs, because we certainly had some lines, and a couple of the shows that I did actually wound up being more lines of line calming, where I'm basically there to amuse the people that are stuck in the line. It's much like when you're at a theme park, when you go through the back and the forth and the back and the forth. There's all this stuff you walk past before you get to the actual ride, and sometimes they have little shows and performances, and they have a little bit of videos. Well, that's me, basically. That's me. Look at that. See, there it is. New Braunfels Renaissance Fair. I have not updated the scroll yet. I will be updating the scroll. Everything has just been on top of itself here. So, what am I doing next? Honestly, I have this written down somewhere. Oh, yeah. I love doing my songs in front of live human beings. During the pandemic, I did this for lockdown. During lockdown, I would pretty much do this almost every day at the end of my workday, because I wasn't driving home. And I had my wife, my lovely wife, whom I would be dead in a ditch on fire. gave me clearance to do that, and I did that for quite some time. And so I'm still keeping my hand in with this. It also gives me something that I can provide for the people that support me on Patreon and all that other good stuff. So the next song is one that I wrote at a fair, at Sherwood, when I was just kind of sitting, not really backstage, because there's no backstage at Sherwood, but with my back to a stage, staring at a tree, and the phrase useless magic sword wandered through my head, and that is why I did this. Now, 15? Holy crap. I'm not surprised to hear that. I'm a little terrified, but that is amazing for a one-year fair. They're definitely going to be doing that again. I really think so. I am looking forward to next year. It's going to be an absolute blast. Oh yeah, the song. When I was just a lad, 'twas for adventure I did yearn. I went a questing for the fame and glory I could earn. One night when I was rummaging an abandoned wyvern's hoard, 'twas then that I discovered me a useless magic sword. It's hard to read the comments and play at the same time. Useless magic sword, it's my useless magic sword. I'm questing for adventure with my useless magic sword. A useless magic sword, it's my useless magic sword. It did not come with instructions, it's my useless magic sword. I'm not enunciating as much because I'm at home. I went to fight a dragon because that's just what heroes do. I thought I'd make my legend on the lizards that I slew. Dragon cocked his head off to one side with laughter, he then roared. It's embarrassing to be here with this useless magic sword. It says +0 on the hilt. A useless magic sword, it's my useless magic sword. I'm questing for adventure with my useless magic sword. A useless magic sword, it's my useless magic sword. It did not come with instructions, it's my useless magic sword. Good morning! Car is on the other side of the continent from where I am. It's true. I tried so hard to rid me of this stupid metal stick. I tried the classic methods, but they did not do the trick. Just stuff the sword into a stone, I mightily did try. The stupid thing bounced off the hilt, got me right in the eye. Ow! +1 against myself? Useless magic sword, it's my useless magic sword. I'll keep questing for adventure with my useless magic sword. A useless magic sword, it's my useless magic sword. It did not come with instructions, it's my useless magic sword. I'm hitting the wrong notes, but they're working. I was getting mighty desperate, rash action I did take. I got a boat and rode to meet the lady in the lake. I threw it in the water, but it didn't make her a word. She threw it back, she didn't want my useless magic sword. On paper, those two lines rhyme. Not in real life. And I gotta be honest, I'm annoyed. Useless magic sword, it's my useless magic sword. I'm questing for adventure with my useless magic sword. A useless magic sword, it's my useless magic sword. It did not come with instructions, it's my useless magic sword. Live music. The years have passed, I've gotten old, I've never found my fame. And this stupid hunk of metal doesn't even have a name. Live music. So I stuffed it straight into the floor, wedged in between the boards. I use it as a coat rack now, my useless magic sword. Oh, it has a purpose. I love a happy ending, don't you? Useless magic sword, it's my useless magic sword. I'm questing for adventure with my useless magic sword. A useless magic sword, it's my useless magic sword. And I use it as a code rack now, my useless magic sword. Ah. What is that? It is. Dun, 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 dun. That's right. I don't know why I kept trying to do something else. You know, sometimes my brain just misfires, and I do something wrong, and then if I do it wrong often enough, it becomes part of the show. So there we go. That's right. Because my official disclaimer, the Tobias the Adequate Troubadork show, is I am not very good at this. It's true. I even wrote a song. I am not very good at this, but I won't do all of it because, you know, I haven't practiced that song much. Oh my gosh. So, show 315. Troubadork 315 says, I just entertained you. Never, anyway. I can't do it. I can't do a Stone Cold Steve Austin impression. And if you recognize that as an attempt at a Stone Cold Steve Austin impression, you're not the only useless magic soul, and I feel it. You know, I often worry about what subtitles do to my songs because, well, for one thing, I know that I don't always enunciate. And for another thing, it's me. And anytime technology does anything with me, it will try and be wrong in the most entertaining way possible. It's true. I played the next song at the Mead Hall, which was in fact mostly outside, me sitting on the deck in a little tiny corner of the Mead Hall as the literally from a bird's eye view, the line Mead. It was amazing. And I played this song because I had gone through everything else in the first show, and I wanted to make the shows at least a little different. I know a lot of music acts I know, I've been told, go ahead, play the hits, play the ones that are popular. But every so often, I just got to bust out a couple of some of the songs I don't always do at fairs because, well, they're not traditional Ren Fair themed material, and also because they're just weird. This one is just weird. You see, Tauthologist, Tauthologist, that's an actual discipline, is the study of octopi, have discovered through years of observation that sometimes an octopus will just be sitting on the ocean floor, just sitting there, and it will get bored, and it will bundle up a tentacle and just punch a fish underwater. Just, they're not hunting, they're not attacking, they're not hungry, they're just reach out and, you know, just belt a fish for some reason. And I realized that based on this, when I read the article, I had to write a song, and I wrote a song. And then about a couple of months later, there was a report of some non-tauthologist oceanographers off the west coast of Australia who pretty much got the crap kicked out of them by an octopus. And I had to add that to the song too, because, well, that's the kind of guy I am. This is very much my Lyle Lovett and his large bands, Penguins approach to this song. If I had truly had the accompaniment, this would be awesome. Here we go. Oh, Fishpuncher the octopus punches fish. Fishpuncher the octopus, pugilist. He wants to start a fight, don't know how to do it right. Oh, Fishpuncher the octopus. He punches. He punches. Fishpuncher the octopus punches fish. Fishpuncher the octopus, pugilist. He has got a beef, beats a fish just to get relief. Oh, Fishpuncher the octopus. He punches. He punches. Damn it. Fishpuncher the octopus punches fish. Fishpuncher the octopus, pugilist. If you get into a stew, he'll be the most oceanographers do. Fishpuncher the octopus. He punches. He punches. Fishpuncher the octopus punches fish. Fishpuncher the octopus, pugilist. He wants to start a fight. He's got all night. Fishpuncher the octopus. He He punches. He punches. Fishpuncher the octopus. He punches. He punches. Fishpuncher the octopus. He punches. He punches. Fish. That's the D7 chord, one of my favorites. I love me some 7th chords. Now, it's still in tune. Kelzer did say something about new strings. Now, this is actually, these are the strings I love. These are the strings I adore. These are the Dario ukulele fluorocarbon strings. And I'm still playing with the original set that came with this when I got this for my birthday about 2 years ago, I think. About 2 years ago. I think I got it during lockdown, honestly. And they're beginning to get a little worn. I'm beginning to see if it gets kind of shiny right above the frets where I've been using the most. Because most of my work is up here. And so I'm doing a lot of fret work up here. And so these strings are getting a little worn. And so later on, this is going to thong off. But these are still the original strings. Now, I have been attempting to restring this beast, which is known as Payback. Because that's what it says on the box. This is what got me started in this nonsense. This is a cigar box ukulele that my friend Michael Van Slyke of Archangel Arts made and traded me for in exchange for a place to stay during a New Orleans cigar box guitar conference. And that's what got me started. Now, I have restrung this thing. And one of the things about using any kind of nylon strings is that when you put them on and you string it, they will stretch. Now, the other thing I discovered is with these strings, they're very slippery. They're so slippery. This last string right here, the A string, actually, I put there's a little, they call it a bead on the end of this thing. Because if I tie this up the way they usually do it, and the hey, look, I'm clever and a luthier, it will untie itself. And it did that 3 times. And then I put a bead on it, and then it just went brink, and it went somewhere. So I got another bead and another string. And now it's almost, we're still very much in the tuning, in the conditioning stage here. So I won't be playing this for another couple of days, possibly weeks, until it gets its act together. And now, my friends, time has come for the moment you've all been waiting for. That's correct. The last song in this set. It's only about a half-hour show. My shows at Faire are generally about 20 minutes. They gave me 45-minute slots at New Braunfels, and it was kind of interesting to watch because there was some crowd flow on the shows where I wasn't doing line calming. And some folks stayed for the whole thing, and sometimes came in late. Some people left early. That's okay. That's all right. It was what I was there for, and the pressure is off. Yay, tuning. We tune because we like people. We tune more because we still like people, even after all these years of being in customer service. It's true. This song was a song I wrote because somebody asked me if I had any Christmas music, and I didn't at the time. And I only usually play this song during the Christmas holiday season for reasons which will become apparent in a moment. This is a song that I wrote. And you'll notice that when I'm playing it, I sound an awful lot like Weird Al Yankovic when I sing. Because let's be honest, this is pretty much a Weird Al Yankovic song. And it started with one phrase in my head, and you'll probably be able to figure out which phrase that was. It is called... now it won't work. Aggro Santa. And... good luck. I was raiding a temple on Christmas Eve like us gamer folk like to do. It was me and Pickles and Dave and Steve and some 12-year-old that we called Stu. Some 12-year-old that we called Stu. No one can handle the straight face. I forced the lock and I entered the chamber. The setting looked quite lush. I was just about to take a couple of things when this hairy red dude hit me in the mush. This hairy red dude hit me in the mush. I got punched in the face by Santa. Aggro Claus is coming to town. You'll catch the Yuletide spirit and these hands, 'cause old Kris Kringle's throwing down. Old Kris Kringle's throwing down. I was leaving a store when I saw a cauldron and Santa was ringing a bell. I felt pretty flush, so I tossed in a handful. Just how much I couldn't tell. Just how much I couldn't tell. Well, the money flew straight on into that cauldron. I perfectly guessed my range. I realized I dropped too much in that bucket, so I went back to make some change. I went back to make some change. I got punched in the face by Santa. Aggro Claus is coming to town. You'll catch a Yuletide spirit and these hands, 'cause old Kris Kringle's throwing down. Old Kris Kringle's throwing down. I was minding my own business, just watching some TV, when I heard some singers outside. It seemed that Santa Claus had himself some carolers, spreading cheer both far and wide. Spreading cheer both far and wide. Well, I stood there heating the whole darn city with the carolers in my yard. I said, hey, do you guys know Wham's last Christmas? Santa took that kinda hard. Santa took that kinda hard. I got punched in the face by Santa. Aggro Claus is coming to town. You'll catch the Yuletide spirit and these hands, 'cause old Kris Kringle's throwing down. Old Kris Kringle's throwing down. Everybody clap! I got punched in the face by Santa. Aggro Claus is coming to town. You'll catch the Yuletide spirit and these hands, 'cause old Kris Kringle's throwing down. Old Kris Kringle's throwing down. Old Kris Kringle's throwing down. Ooh. It's trying something new there, putting a little space between those lines so people had a chance to actually parse what the heck was going on in there. That is Aggro Santa. Yes! Yes! I do have this goal, not this year, God help us, of doing a video for this, because I think this would make an excellent video. The first set would just be, the usual gamer streaming thing. And the next two scenes would involve me getting the crap kicked out of me by a Santa Claus. And for the reprise, I have this mental image of me being chased in slow motion by this horde of Santas and elves and maybe reindeer and stuff. We might be able to make that happen one day. We shall see. Life is weird. My friends, all good things must come to an end, and unfortunately, while this doesn't qualify, I still got to wrap this up. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Without you here, this would be rehearsal. Well, it is rehearsal, but it would also be me talking to myself. Vox clamatia in deserto. As opposed to Vox clamatia in dessert card, a man screaming into a sheet cake. All the stuff. Patreon.com/theadequate for supporting adequacy in our lifetime. The tip jars are paypal.me/theadequate. Venmo @theadequate. Cash App, I am $theadequate. My website is theadequate.com. Also Troubadork.com, but some of you already knew that. I want to thank my Patreon peeps: Rob, Alex, Brian, Lorene, Relly, Kay, BK, Teppo, Isaac, Joe, Jen, Kay, and Tim for supporting adequacy. Any money that comes into me from them in Patreon goes to improve the technical aspect of the show. Yes. Oh, by the way, Patreon peeps, update your addresses in Patreon because all my Patreon peeps are getting a Christmas present. They're getting a Troubadork pick. That's right. If you were at New Braunfels Ren Fair, you saw these little boogers. Some of you may already have them, as a matter of fact. I know I gave Tim a pick live because he was right frickin' there. And that got that checked off my list. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. It has been a heck of a year. Be kind. Be safe. Be silly. Fight fire with marshmallows. It confuses our enemies. Plus, you have a tasty snack. And if all else fails, you can throw a flaming marshmallow at them, and that really confuses them a great deal. Of course, trans rights are human rights. All rights are human rights. Treat people like people, not things. I don't know if I can stress that anymore. Sir Terry Pratchett put it so well. Y'all be good. Y'all take care. You have been wonderful. I have been Tobias the Adequate, and I thank you all for encouraging my behavior, and I will see you all next time